Welcome to the CAB Builder video tutorial series. This video is an overview of the CAB Builder application settings. CAB Builder application settings will determine several factors: the look, feel, and functionality of your CAB Builder application, including general preferences, display, pricing, and unit of measurements and unit precision levels. These settings should reflect your design, construction, and CNC preferences that you intend to use most often, and once these have been determined, will rarely need to be altered. To determine these preferences, navigate to and select the main menu icon at the top of the left toolbar, which will launch the menu options. Select Application Settings to launch the Preferences dialog box. The first tab, General, will determine general aspects of the CAB Builder application. The first option here is the number of recent designs that will appear on the main page of the CAB Builder application. To edit this value, either manually enter the value in the field, or utilize the plus and minus buttons to the right of the field. The inner buttons will increase or decrease the value in increments of 10. The outer buttons will increase or decrease the value in single increments. The second option, Hide Sidebar when using drawing tools, is toggled on by default. Having this option turned on will hide the left sidebar of the design module while you are utilizing the Sketch, C-Line, and Room Shape tools. Toggling this option off will maintain the left sidebar while utilizing these tools. The third option is Autosave Design Enabled, and it is also, by default, toggled on. Having this on will enable the application to autosave your design while you draft at a predetermined time interval, which is set below. Determine the time interval by inputting the value manually or by utilizing the buttons to the right of the field. The buttons again will adjust the time interval in 10-minute or single-minute intervals. Note: this option is used to recover up-to-date design information if there was an unintentional log-off while in the middle of drafting. So be sure to still utilize the floppy disk save icon prior to exiting a design or the application itself. Toggling the autosave function off will disable the autosave function and inactivate the time interval field below. Next, select the CNC machine type to be used with the CNC integration by activating the drop-down menu and making the selection from the provided list. The final option here is Pro Kitchen's Global Options and is by default toggled off. This option, when turned off, will enable the design options within the design module and will provide the user with the ability to select from default and created design options to be applied to the cabinets in any given design, and should be utilized if you are not creating catalogs to be used with the Pro Kitchen integration. Toggling this option on should only be done if you are using the Pro Kitchen integration. This will enable additional features in the Catalogs module for creating catalogs to be used with the Pro Kitchen integration, and will also create a need for the user to ensure that global options have been determined for each individual catalog they intend to use in the design module prior to selecting design options. Next, in the Display tab, you may adjust your display preferences for the wireframe editor and the plan and elevation displays. At the top, adjust your preferred default display for the wireframe editor by toggling on or off the Show Processing and Show Connectors options. This will adjust the default view in the wireframe editor. Regardless of your selection here, you may still choose to enable or disable these options if needed within the wireframe module with the corresponding icons found at the top of the wireframe preview. Next, you may select your preferred cabinet label displays for both the plan and elevation views of the design in the Design module. Select from Display Label with no dimension, which will display only the cabinet SKU. Do not display label, which will remove any identifiers from the cabinets in the design. Display label with dimension will populate the SKU and the cabinet dimensions. Display only dimension will provide only the cabinet dimensions as cabinet identifiers in the design. To select one of these options, toggle the option on with a click of the mouse in the box to the right. In the Pricing tab, you may select your preferred default pricing method by selecting the radio button to the right. You may select from Use Calculated Cabinet Prices, which will use the calculated pricing that is determined by the pricing tables created within the pricing module. Use Fixed Cabinet Prices, which will allow the user to manually plug a number into the bill of materials for each cabinet item. If this option is set as the default pricing method, the initial fixed price per cabinet will default to $0. Or use Catalog Cabinet Prices, which will use the prices set for each cabinet item that is assigned during catalog creation. Finally, open the Units tab to determine your preferred unit type and unit precision levels to be applied to the default measurements, bill of materials, cabinet construction, CNC machine, design module, drawing tools, materials, pricing, and reports. These values will be applied as defaults for the corresponding options and may be altered as needed within the corresponding modules and tools. To set the unit type, click the drop-down menu and select from the provided list. Then, select the unit precision level by clicking the drop-down menu and selecting from the list provided. Once all your preferences have been determined, click the Apply button to save your preferences and dismiss the dialog box. And now your CAB Builder application is set to your design, construction, manufacturing, pricing, and display preferences. To view additional video tutorials, please visit www.cabbuildersoftware.com/training.